Hi everyone, my name is Sahil and welcome back to my channel. And today's video is super important because we are busting all the myths, answering all the doubts, the queries, the genuine concerns people have around the vaccination of COVID-19. Now, a couple of days ago, exactly to be on May 1, the government opened the vaccination program for people between the ages of 18 and 44. I was one of the lucky few who could get the first jab. And until now, I was the only person in my family who hadn't got the jab. My sister is a healthcare worker, so she got a jab. My mom is over 50, she got a jab. My dad is over 50 plus a healthcare worker, a doctor, and that's why he also got the jab. So there was no I had no two thoughts that if I have to get the vaccination or not. I knew I had to get it. But I understand there are a lot of concerns people have. One thing I'm going to say in my experience is that I had no side effects, minus the soreness in my arm. I took a paracetamol, 650 mg, about half an hour after my first jab, once I came out of the observation room. And I was fine the entire day. I did my routine work, nothing changed in the day. The only thing was for the next 1 or 2 days, I couldn't sleep on my left arm because, the arm was rather sore and it was also rather heavy, when I was lifting it. But other than that, I had no fever, no nausea, nothing. But I understand some people do develop some side effects. So looking at all this, I thought we must bust some myths and answer some queries regarding the COVID vaccine. And that's why I have a very prominent doctor along with me who will be answering all these questions for you. Mind you, this video is rather long, but the intention is to answer as many questions as possible in as much detail so that you are well aware and convinced why you should get the vaccine. So let's dive into it.
Colonel Dr. Surekha Kashyap is an alumna of the Armed Forces Medical College, Pune, where she did her MBBS and MD in hospital administration. She went on to then get a gold medal from the Pune University. Dr. Kashyap has served in the Armed Forces Medical Services for 33 years, where she planned and designed 7 military hospitals and managed medical stores of the two largest military hospitals in the country. She is recently retired as a professor of the Department of Hospital Administration, AFMC, after multiple achievements, including commendation medals for her meritorious service, 45 published papers, among many other feathers in her hat. Dr. Kashyap is currently the regional director of the Academy of Hospital Administration, Western Regional Chapter, and has a contagious zeal for quality and community health. So please help me welcome Colonel Dr. Surekha Kashyap.
Thank you, Sahil. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for doing this, ma'am. I know you're very busy, and I just felt if we could borrow some time from you and bust these myths and these rumors, and also some genuine queries people have about the vaccine, I think it would be great as a contribution we can, have towards people. So thank you so
Yeah,
much.
sure. Sure. Shoot.
My first question, which we've got from the people, is what is the point of getting the vaccine if one can still catch COVID-19?
Yeah, that's the first question is an amazing one. Intelligent question, very pertinent. A lot of people are asking this. The point is that we have nothing else. There is no medicine yet to cure COVID, and COVID is killing people, right? So if it had not been killing people, or if we had some cure for it, we could have said, okay, I don't want the vaccine. But the problem is, vaccine is the only thing we have. And what goes in favor of vaccine is number one, that it brings down your chances of getting COVID by 90%. Number two is that once you are vaccinated, your body starts manufacturing these wonderful little fighting infantrymen called antibodies. And these antibodies make sure that even if you get COVID infection after the vaccination, you don't get very sick. It means that you don't require ICU care, you will not require maybe hospitalization, you won't require oxygen. So the chances of critical illness, the chances of hospitalization are greatly reduced. And the most significant benefit of vaccine is that it prevents death. That is worth it. That should count for something.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's why all of us are trying to get the vaccine, thinking that in mind.
Yeah.
My next
Yeah.
question, ma'am, to you is: what discomforts may one develop after the first and the second jab? Now, is it necessary that everyone will exhibit them?
Okay, so first thing is, does everyone get side effects after vaccine? The simple answer is no. Not everybody gets side effects. Some people are inherently robust; they don't get any side effects. Most people get side effects, but the side effects again are very mild and easily manageable at home. And but however, all good centers make sure that after getting the jab, whether it is the first dose or the second dose, the person is requested to wait for 30 minutes observation. 30 minutes at least, so that somebody suddenly collapses or has a sudden drop in BP, though it doesn't happen frequently at all. The most common side effects, which are very mild, are the pain at the injection site, slight redness wherever you have been given injection. You might develop a rash there, some little swelling may be there. You may get very low grade fever, and because of fever or independent of fever, you may get a little headache. Some people are saying they get little chills, shivering, thoda sa shivering hota hai. Then some people have complained of little nausea, ऐसा लगता है जैसे हल्का सा, feeling a little sick. कुछ लोगों को बॉडी एक होती है, लिटिल बिट, शरीर दर्द कर रहा है, यू फीलिंग टायर्ड, आई वांट टू लाई डाउन, सो लाई डाउन. Nothing is required to be done in more than 90% of these symptoms because they're mild. However, everyone should rest. Don't go for work. Don't be such a superman or superwoman. Though I know of many doctors who have done exactly that. Healthcare workers are precious commodity. So they've taken their vaccine and gone back to do their duty. But it is advisable that you take rest for at least 1 or 2 days, drink a lot of fluids. The only medicine which you should take yourself if you have some body ache or fever is paracetamol, Crocin. Nothing else is required.
The next question, ma'am, is which vaccine should we take? Is anyone particularly better than the other?
See, the very simple answer to this is that no vaccine is better than the other in the long run. All of them are claiming some percentage of effectiveness based on clinical trials. So their effectiveness ranges from anywhere from 62, 65% to 90, 95%, some people are claiming. But the claims, remember, are based on small trials, on few thousands of people. The real efficacy of these vaccines will become obvious only when thousands and lakhs and crores or millions of people are given these vaccines. And then they are followed up. कि भाई जिनको ये वैक्सीन लगी थी उनको कोविड हुआ कि नहीं हुआ. So it is like after 2 or 3 years we will be able to answer this question properly, which vaccine was 95% effective, which was 90. But how does it matter? My point is, how does it matter whether it is 70% or 95%? No one is claiming 100% efficiency anyway, not a single one. So we have to be practical. We have to go by availability. All of them are absolutely essential for us to kickstart our immune response. And that is the aim. All of them kickstart our immune response. So the best thing is not to delay. Don't wait. Don't run from pillar to post saying, I have heard that Covishield is better, so I want to wait for Covishield only to come. No, if Covaxin is being given in your next door hospital where you have got an appointment, please go and get it. Probably that is the correct attitude because 100% efficient तो है ही नहीं, और ऐसा भी नहीं है कि एक में ज्यादा साइड इफेक्ट होते हैं, एक में कम होते हैं, ऐसा भी नहीं. So they are all equally acceptable, should be acceptable. You go by the availability.
Yes, it's more important to get the vaccine than which vaccine we should get right now.
Yeah.
So, how safe are these vaccines? Is there any way to confirm, ma'am, that there'll be no side effects in the future?
So that is another interesting question. Remember that not a single vaccine manufacturer has claimed during their clinical trial that their vaccine is 100% safe and there will be no side effects. Not a single one has claimed that. Because I told you, because the way these vaccines have been manufactured, their manufacturing cycle has been compressed. Usually it takes 1.5 to 2 years for a vaccine to develop. These vaccines have been pushed into the market under emergency approval with there's been a crashing of the clinical trials, if you understand what I'm saying. In the time frame has been narrowed down. to make them available fast. So even more, they are cautious. They are not going around making any tall claims that our medicine has no side effects. Occasionally, again, very rare, some people can have some allergic reaction to the vaccines. That is why every person who gets the vaccine, whether the first dose or second dose, must stay in that hospital or that area where the vaccine is given for about 30 minutes.
Another very interesting question that I came across, and I didn't think of it, but somebody's concern is definitely this: can the vaccine cause infertility?
No vaccine causes infertility. And certainly, COVID vaccines, none of them in their clinical trial until date, I am reading the literature, nowhere has infertility been listed as a side effect of COVID vaccine. So please rid your uh, heart and mind of that particular fear कि उस डर को अपने मन से निकाल दीजिए कि इससे इनफर्टिलिटी हो जाती है. ये तो आपके इम्यूनिटी को बूस्ट करता है, एंटीबॉडीज को बढ़ाता है, आपकी छोटी मोटी बीमारियों से लड़ने की जो ताकत होती है उसको इंक्रीज करता है. तो ये आपको इनफर्टाइल कैसे कर सकता है? इट कैन नॉट.
So whoever has this question, I think that person is now put to ease. Next question, ma'am, is how long should someone wait to take the vaccine if they've already contacted COVID?
This is an intelligent question and very important. I hope that people who are watching this note it down carefully. From the day you get your RT-PCR positive, the day your test comes positive, from that day, ideally, you should wait about 90 days, 3 months. Although in Indian guidelines, they've mentioned 4 to 8 weeks, but I've seen the international guidelines, WHO and CDC, there they have mentioned 90 days. So if today your RT-PCR comes positive, today, you are positive today. So you count 3 months from there. Like 1st April को अगर आपका RT-PCR positive है, तो आप 1st July से पहले वैक्सीनेशन के लिए नहीं चाहिए. And the rationale is simple. It takes a few days for the body to fight off the infection. Then your own body is producing antibodies. So give a chance to your body to produce antibodies. Otherwise, it will interfere with the immune response to the vaccine itself. So the answer to that is that you note the date of the RT-PCR test coming positive and you wait for 90 days.
There's a little question in this question itself, and it also follows into the next question. आजकल मैम RT-PCR कई बार negative आ जाते हैं, but the person still has COVID, right? So in case that person is negative on RT-PCR, but उसको COVID हो जाता है, through blood tests and through MRI, through various ways in which we can find out if you have COVID or not. How many days after testing negative should one get vaccinated? Like, is it the same 90-day period?
Yeah, so now here again, if your test is negative, but due to your symptoms or your CT scan of chest or a good doctor has opined ki RT-PCR again is not, some of you may be surprised to know that even RT-PCR test is not 100% reliable. It is reliable only 70% of the time. So a good doctor, however, will see your symptoms, will see, oh, your brother or your father, mother, or your husband or wife just had COVID, right? They will see history of exposure. Or if you are a healthcare worker, you are working in a high-risk environment where it is very likely that you have COVID. Actually, today, every fever and all, we are thinking it is COVID unless proved otherwise. So then you take the date on which the doctor diagnosed you as COVID. So it is a little complicated, but simplifying it, go by the test date. And if the test is negative, go by the date when you develop the fever.
And what happens if someone who's asymptomatic but has actually got COVID, which is very difficult to actually even figure it out. But if somebody was asymptomatic and they took the vaccine, but they were actually positive, कोई प्रॉब्लम होता है कि नहीं देना चाहिए? What is?
अगर वैक्सीन लेने के बाद टेस्ट कराया तब तो वैक्सीन हो चुकी है. You have taken the vaccine, no problem.
Okay.
Many of us are asymptomatic carriers of virus, but it doesn't mean that all of us. Actually, the correct question here would be, should I get a COVID test done before going in for vaccination? No. You just go and get it. There are people who have developed COVID infection between 2 doses. They do better than the ones who have not got even the first dose.
Okay. And the next question, all of us are talking about getting 2 shots for sure. But somebody's asked, will just one dose or one jab suffice, or is taking the booster shot necessary?
See, every vaccine manufacturer other than Johnson and Johnson, Johnson and Johnson vaccine is the only one where the manufacturer is recommending one shot. It's not available in India, so you don't bother much about it. All other vaccines are recommended 2 doses. The booster dose is required to develop what we call as optimum immunity. First jab won't get the full response. It will get some response. It will protect you to some extent, but the full antibody response will come only 2 to 6 weeks after the second jab.
The next 2 questions, ma'am, are: is it safe for pregnant women to take the vaccine? And is it safe for for lactating mothers?
Yeah, now again, this question is related to how the vaccines have been tested. Due to ethical reasons, none of the vaccines in the clinical trial co-opted pregnant or lactating women or even children. No, ethically, it's not correct. So, because these vaccines have not been tested on children and pregnant women and breastfeeding women, all the vaccine manufacturers are saying that not recommended because they don't have data. When you read Canadian guidelines on COVID vaccine, when you read European Union guidelines on COVID vaccine, there they are saying something else. They are saying that pregnant women and breastfeeding women, especially if they are working in a high risk environment, like we see these videos going viral of a pregnant policewoman going on duty every day, pregnant nurses, breastfeeding doctors, pregnant women doctors attending to patients. They are such wonderful and courageous women who, despite being pregnant and breastfeeding, go about their work, and the work happens to be high risk in COVID scenario. So if these women are working in a high risk environment, the Canadian and European Union guidelines say that they should be offered, they must be offered the vaccination with informed consent. Because in these scenarios, they have decided that the risk of COVID vaccines is less in comparison to the risk of the women contracting COVID and dying in the workplaces.
And why would somebody not develop antibodies? I mean, you kind of answered the question, but why would somebody not develop antibodies after the first dose?
Our bodies are different. We are each one of us is unique. That's what's called DNA fingerprint, right? Each of us is carrying a different DNA. So we respond differently even to the same vaccine. And some people don't even start showing the requisite antibody titers after 2 weeks. Their body takes longer to respond. किसी का 3 weeks बाद होता है, 4 weeks होता है, 6 weeks के बाद होता है. There are people who have shown significant antibody titers only after 6 weeks of the second jab. The only exception to this is people who are terribly immune compromised anyway. Unfortunately, HIV and AIDS is still there in our society. So people who are suffering from HIV, AIDS, no? And people who are getting treatment for cancer, blood cancer treatment chal raha hai, no? Long survival, breast cancer, so survival is wrong. Same way, HIV, AIDS दवाई के साथ अब survival बढ़ा होता है. But these are the people जिनका immune system inherently compromise हुआ है. मतलब उनकी immunity पहले से ही थोड़ी कम है. And there are many other such what is called as immune deficiency disorders or autoimmune disorder जिसमें लोगों का immunity थोड़ा कम होता है. तो जिनकी immunity पहले से ही थोड़ी suppressed है ना, they will not show the same kind of wonderful and positive antibody response as another person.
Somebody is asking, what is the medical advice to those who feel getting vaccinated is not necessary?
The only medical advice is get vaccinated. That is, I think, the whole purpose of this interview, Sahil, no?
Absolutely.
The whole purpose of this exercise is, only thing is, in my long service, and I have a wide circle of friends and family, unfortunately, people tend to take not only advice from medical professional. Sometimes medical advice gets quietened. Medical advice dab jati hai in the cacophony of other advice. Because people are people, right? मेरे फादर के भाई के दोस्त के चाचा की मम्मी ने तो ये बोला अदरक खा लो, गरम दूध और हल्दी पी लो, वो भी पी लो भाई, but vaccine तो लगवा लो. So people listen to a lot of people. And it's not even person to person now in this age of social media explosion. People keep scrolling on their mobiles and keep reading so much of nonsense and fake news, and God knows, I mean, it's like a storm. It's like an information tsunami. So the only medical advice is get vaccinated.
Absolutely. But I don't know. I wanted to put that question so that I think we can emphasize one more time why it is so important to get the vaccine. Next question. I found it very interesting personally. This person has asked, can we do anything in terms of a lifestyle change to increase the efficacy of the vaccine?
Oh yes, certainly. See, though there is no reported benefit, but if you look at the demography of how COVID disease is progressing, now we have more than a year of experience with the disease. The disease is affecting a particular kind of people more. मतलब ये बीमारी कुछ लोगों में ज्यादा खतरनाक हो रही है, उससे हम लोग डिराइव कर सकते हैं. कैसे? Obesity. People who are obese before the vaccine were dying more. जिन लोगों को डायबिटीज था, जिनको बहुत सीवियर हार्ट कंडीशन थी, स्पेशली क्रॉनिक कंजेस्टिव हार्ट फेलियर था, दे आर डाइंग मोर. पीपल ऑन डायलिसिस डाइंग मोर. That should tell us what you can do. I wouldn't say to increase the efficacy of the vaccine, because vaccine तो अपना काम करेगी, वो antibodies produce कर देगी. Maybe this question should be, what else can we do to safeguard ourselves against getting very ill with COVID? So one is keep your weight under control. If you're overweight, maybe this is a good time to start doing some kind of gentle exercise, starting from, don't suddenly go straight into a gym and start exercising. Start going for a walk gently. So gradually improve your lifestyle by improving the exercise routine. Aim to reduce your weight, bring it as near to normal as possible. Chest exercises, which classically are taught in yoga, like pranayama and deep breathing exercises, they make your lung capacity more. And lung is the place which gets most terribly affected by COVID. So maybe yoga is an excellent addition to our lifestyle. Healthy food, nutritious food, which is rich in antioxidants, which is rich in green vegetables, fruit, is always good. It's always a good idea. And nuts are an extremely good source of omega-3 fatty acids. So all these nutritional supplements which are advocated anyway for a healthy lifestyle are, I'm sure, they will not do any harm. They will probably build our immunity a little better and protect us from the most terrible outcome of COVID infection. So
100%.
may not have anything to do with vaccine, but it has everything to do with how COVID grips our body. And last but not the least, a very happy and positive attitude towards life.
It is absolutely. अगर negativity इतने affect होने दोगे तो और कुछ नहीं, COVID आके ही जाएगा, because you're just attracting it by those negative thoughts. So we're talking about how people, with low immunity or with obesity have a higher risk of catching COVID. But talking about a vaccine, people who have high sugar or high blood pressure, can they take vaccine?
Yes, certainly. There is no contraindication at all. Absolutely no In fact, as I told you, the people who are already diabetic or who have heart conditions are actually more vulnerable. They are high risk for COVID infection. And if they get COVID infection, they are also more likely to become a little bit more critical. They are the ones who are more likely to land up in the ICU. And even the death rates are higher in such people. So for them, actually, it is even more important to get vaccinated.
So now, ma'am, the next question is, the number of cases in India especially have increased by manyfold. And that's why I think this person is asking, given the number of cases in the hospitals these days, is it safe to go and get the vaccine in the almost, near future?
So one thing is that most hospitals are making a vaccination point or vaccination center which is outside the hospital premises. You don't really have to cross a ward with infected patients or an ICU to get a injection taken. But if you go with a scheduling, suppose you schedule your dose through that CoWIN app, right? And you get an appointment from 10:30 to 11. Then you make sure that you don't go there at 9 and sit there for 1.5 hours. No, make sure that you reach just in time. And this is an absolutely valid problem. I totally agree with it. Totally agree with the person who is worried. You should be very worried. So you wear a double mask these days, inside that blue surgical mask, and on top of that, a cotton mask. Make sure that your mask is nice and tightly fitting, or you wear that N95 mask with that clip and all. Okay. So you wear a mask. You make sure कि अगर धक्का मुक्की लग रही है तो वहां मत जाओ. जहां पे भी अगर लग रहा है कि there is too much of crowd, जगह नहीं है, पतला सा कॉरिडोर है, धक्का मुक्की हो रही है, get out from there. Totally, I'm with you there. बट जहां पे अरेंजमेंट्स अच्छे हैं, उन्होंने कुर्सियां लगाई हुई हैं, कुर्सियों के बीच में डिस्टेंस है, तो जहां खुले में लगा हुआ है विद गुड वेंटिलेशन और थोड़ा जग छोड़ छोड़ के लोग बैठे हुए हैं, वहां अगर आपको आधा घंटा वेट भी करना पड़े, नथिंग विल हैपन. बट जहां अरेंजमेंट्स ठीक नहीं है, जहां पे वेटिंग एरिया बहुत क्राउडेड है, धक्का मुक्की हो रही है, वहां आप देख लो कि गड़बड़ है और पलट करके वापस आ जाओ, कम बैक. But if you are sitting there even for half an hour, even in an open area with a tent and everything, don't take down your mask. Mask laga rehna chahiye. Also, when you come home, immediately those masks should be disposed of. Put them in a plastic Ziploc bag, throw them in the dustbin, change your clothes. Your clothes should go straight in the washing machine. Have a full bath with a head bath and all before you come in contact with the other members of your family. So these are simple and basic precautions which you can take, because I totally agree that if you go for a vaccination, you will not be the only person there. There will be a few people. So you have to have some intelligence gathering done before that. पहले से पता लगाओ कि क्या हाल है. पूछो, वहां डॉक्टरों से बात करो कि कौन सा ऐसा टाइम है जब भीड़ नहीं होती है. तो जो भीड़, सुबह उठना पड़े अगर 7 बजे तो उठ जाओ. अगर वो सेंटर 7 बजे खुल रहा है और तुम्हें पता है कि 7 o'clock भीड़ नहीं होगी, तो गो एट अ टाइम जब भीड़ नहीं है ना. Why does everybody have to come only at 10 o'clock because you are lazy, you want to get up only at 10 o'clock? So it's common sense. I told you that one of the biggest preventive measures against COVID is avoid overcrowded places. So if your vaccination center is overcrowded, avoid it. Either find a center which is not overcrowded, or find a time where there is no overcrowding, and protect yourself. That is the best that you can do.
Absolutely. And then this question has come now. I should have put it earlier, but people who have undergone angioplasty, this person's father has undergone angioplasty. Can he get the vaccine?
Certainly, he must. He must. I told you, people with heart conditions, lung conditions, diabetes are more at risk of getting COVID, or getting very seriously ill with COVID, and unfortunately, even dying of COVID. So there is no contraindication. In fact, with angioplasty, and he's saying father, so age profile also will be, I'm sure, above 50 only. Pakka, must get the vaccination as soon as possible. No contraindication.
And we've answered this question, I think, many, many times. And this is the whole point of getting the vaccine, so that you don't die. But what are the chances of hospitalization or death from contracting the virus after the first or both doses?
So after the first dose, the chances of hospitalization reduce a lot, and the chances of death also reduce a lot, significantly. Nobody has counted them. I told you that data will come after 2 or 3 years, when people who are keeping a record will do it. After the second dose, however, chances of hospitalization it's not hospitalization, it is getting critically ill, are again extremely low. Chances of death after the second dose, 2 weeks after that, if you contract COVID, are nil. So there is partial protection after the first dose, and there is complete protection after the second dose against death. Against hospitalization, there is significant protection after the second dose. You may get admitted also. ऐसी बात नहीं है. One of my colleagues, after 2 doses, got COVID and got hospitalized. But he came out within 4 days, he was discharged. So he didn't get critically ill. You must learn to distinguish between two things. Critical illness means ICU में, on ventilator. वो नहीं होता है. हॉस्पिटलाइज आप हो सकते हो डिपेंडिंग ऑन आप बहुत एंशियस हो गए या आपका डॉक्टर थोड़ा ज्यादा केयरफुल है, ही सेज नहीं नहीं सेफ साइड हम आपको हॉस्पिटल में ही रखना चाहेंगे. अब तो बेड्स ही अवेलेबल नहीं है तो वो प्रॉब्लम भी बहुत ज्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेट हो गई है. इट्स नॉट द क्वेश्चन ऑफ हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन, इट्स द क्वेश्चन ऑफ critically ill and death. These two things the vaccine protects against.
Absolutely. And is it safe to get jabbed by two different vaccines? Another very interesting question.
No, it's an extremely good question. And worldwide, I could not find any authority who has been able to answer this question because no one is trying it. Abhi to shuruaat hui hai. I mean, you've seen sports people. I'm a sportswoman, so you first learn the basics, right? You first learn the game by the rules of the game. Only when you master the game, then you start improvising. है ना? Improvising तो बाद में शुरू होती है ना? तो अभी तो you've just started. So no one is improvising. No one is taking a chance. Worldwide, they are recommending कि अगर जिस वैक्सीन का फर्स्ट डोज लगा है, उसी वैक्सीन का सेकेंड डोज लगाइए. ये experimentation with the other vaccine का second dose is not being done anywhere in the world. So not recommended.
Are there any medical conditions, ma'am, under which a person should avoid getting the vaccine?
People who are suffering from clotting disorders, जिनको stroke वगैरह हुआ, उनको Johnson and Johnson, they are being told, but then Johnson and Johnson is not available in India, so no problem there as well. So up we are left with only one segment, and that is autoimmune disorders. Now, I'm very sure that people who are unfortunately suffering from these kind of disorders, hemophilia and ITP and all that, blood disorders, clotting disorders, autoimmune disorders, they would be under care of a good doctor. I'm very sure. So the recommendations are that such patients must go in for vaccination with the full advice and consultation of their treating doctor. Like if chemotherapy is not urgent, it is recommended that chemotherapy for cancer be postponed because the vaccine is more important than the chemotherapy. So the vaccine takes precedence. Okay. Give vaccine and you start chemotherapy after 2 weeks. So these are very, very delicate. Radiation therapy, no problem. There is no contraindication. If only radiation therapy is going on, go ahead and take the vaccine. So these are very fine and delicate decisions which are best left to your cancer treatment team. There is always a team treating a cancer patient or an HIV patient. So these are the only little things where, more caution has to be exercised. Patients whose immunity is very low and those who are under treatment of cancer or who are suffering from blood disorders, clotting disorders. They have to be careful.
All right, great. And is there a list of medications one should avoid taking before and after the vaccine?
What is not to be taken is like some people are very, very anxious. So उनको थोड़ा सा भी बुखार होता है तो वो जो सबसे ज़्यादा potent Combiflam or Ibuprofen वगैरह लेकर के, they try to kill. Our teacher used to say that why do you want to use a machine gun against an ant? चींटी के लिए तुम machine gun क्यों use कर रहे हो? So that is the only caution, that for small fever and body ache which happens after the vaccination, please don't, burden your body with a very strong medicine. Don't. Just take that simple, sweet little medicine called paracetamol. It works. It works. Cancer medication, chemotherapy. But then your doctor has to come in and advise you. That I'm sure you are anyway not taking on your own.
Person is claiming that they have a vaccine allergy because she or him, this person basically collapsed and the pulse went down to 13 when this person was given the anti-rabies vaccine. So what is the way around for such people?
This is an excellent question. I'm amazed that this question has come up because this is the only contraindication to COVID vaccine. If someone has had an anaphylactic reaction to the first dose of COVID vaccine, or there is a history of anaphylactic reaction to any vaccine, then these people should not be offered COVID vaccine ab initio.
I hope that answers this person's question. Is it the same for people who have pollen allergies?
No, I mean, pollen allergy has got nothing to do with COVID vaccine. But in general, if you have any allergies, it is good to tell that sister who is giving you injection or the doctor who's overseeing everything, so that they know, like, they keep that anti-allergic injection a little kind of more ready for you, though it is unlikely. A pollen allergy has not been linked with any mishap with COVID vaccination.
Again, very, very interesting questions. Won't staying home and wearing a mask be a better option, especially for the people with comorbidities, than actually going and getting the vaccine?
It's like, we are taught something like Swiss cheese model, Sahil. I wonder if you've heard of this phrase called Swiss cheese model. So Swiss cheese model is why do errors happen? गलतियां क्यों होती हैं? कभी भी गलती अचानक से नहीं होती है. गलती किसी भी स्टेज पे रोकी जा सकती है. If you see a Swiss cheese, it has multiple holes, and all the holes are not, in the same line. एक होल यहाँ होता है, क्या होता है, क्या होता है, क्या होता है. So it is only when all the holes are open that, something can travel from one end to the other. So this virus has to be protected like that. You have to close these holes, multiple holes. And one of the ways to close holes is social distancing. It is not the only answer. Vaccine is also not the only answer. So wearing the double mask, washing your hands, social distancing, surface disinfection, and vaccination. All 5 have to be catered for. इनमें से एक भी अगर छूट गया तो you are making yourself vulnerable.
I think that also answers the next question somewhere. This person asked, can we stop taking precautions after getting fully vaccinated?
No. I told somebody, ऐसा नहीं करना कि second vaccine लगी और वैक्सीन सेंटर से जंप मार के मास्क वास्क निकाल के कार में फेंका और जिम में चले गए कि बहुत दिन से तो मैं जिम में नहीं गया हूँ और जिम में 10-12 लोग आपकी तरह बिना मास्क के अपना ट्रेडमिल पे चढ़े हुए हैं. That's not how it works at all. And that is also one of the reasons why people are getting irritated कि क्या फायदा वैक्सीन लगाने का जब वैक्सीन के बाद भी मेरे को सब कुछ तो करना ही पड़ेगा. People are getting irritated. That fatigue is setting in. I can understand that and I honestly sympathize with it. I told you, people are social by nature, and people in the age group of, I think, 18 to 35 are so really like, they're dying of frustration. I can't go out with my friends. I can't go to a pub. I can't go dancing. There are no weddings being, wedding mein dance karo. So people are like everywhere. It's all no. But that is how life is with COVID. We have to learn to live with this virus for some time. So the simple answer is you cannot stop taking any precaution even after getting the vaccine. This is the time for rationality and for self-preservation. No government. I really wonder why we keep blaming the government. It is not the responsibility of the government. It is our responsibility to go and get vaccinated. Same way it is our responsibility to wear the mask and practice social distancing. Government cannot be everywhere.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I know this went on for rather long, and thank you so much for giving your precious time to us. I hope that has answered a lot of questions and queries and myths and doubts people and genuine concerns, some of them, that people had regarding the vaccine. I hope people can go and get the vaccine now in the ways ma'am has suggested, take all the precautions necessary. Thank you so much for doing this, ma'am. It has been lovely.
Thank you, Sahil, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much. It's really nice of you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So guys, that was Colonel Dr. Surekha Kashyap, and I'm so grateful that she spared her precious time from her busy schedule and came and answered these questions in great detail. And I'm so grateful and obliged for this effort that she made towards the vaccination drive. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, comment below with if your queries were answered, if they were not answered, and remember to subscribe to my channel. See you guys. Bye-bye.